Hey guys, thanks for watching our E3 footage thus far. Now there's a lot more coming, but right now let's change the pace. I want to talk about this one gem of a game that I played at E3, Dark Souls 2. Now if you've been watching Play, you know how much I love this game, how much I've been finding a chance to talk about it, and there's a good reason for it. It is one of the best games I've played this current gen, just hands down. Now the reason why, if you haven't played Dark Souls before, I'll let you know, okay? One, it's extremely difficult. I mean, it doesn't hold your hand, because a lot of games these days, there's tutorials for this, tutorials for that. I freaking died in the tutorial the first time I played. I was like, what kind of game is this? Secondly, it really builds a sense of community. I really like how in this game, it doesn't tell you where to go and what to do. So you end up really just talking to your friends and fellow Dark Souls enthusiasts, just like, yo, where am I supposed to go? It brings back that feeling when you're a kid in recess at lunch, like say playing Zelda, and you're like, oh, I burned a tree over there, something happened, and you're like, your friend's like, oh my God, that's cool. So that is a really nostalgic feeling that I feel about this game. I really love it. And thirdly, I just love the fact that this game is almost like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but done well in a 3D plane, because you really have all those secrets. You can go as far as you want, but there's so many things about this game. The game is so deep, and it's just a great game to nerd out to. And speaking of nerding out, here is a very short but sweet interview with one of the directors of Dark Souls 2, right into his psyche. Enjoy. Alright guys, if you've been watching our show, you know how much of a fanboy and how much I've been spreading the gospel of the Souls, the Dark Souls, on the show, of course. And you know right now next to me is Yui Tanimura, one of the directors of the upcoming Dark Souls 2. Now, the fanboy is in my face, and right now is Tak as well, who's gonna help me translate. And I'm just gonna keep this really short because Dark Souls is all about the spoilers, and I'm not gonna spoil nothing, alright? We're just gonna ask him his thoughts, so this is how it is. So my first question is this. Now, in the demo I saw, everyone said it's much more difficult than the first one. Like, all the casual fans can just go away because it's really about keeping the love for the difficulty for the fans. Now, if that's the case, how do you judge what's difficult between the first one and the second one? Like, what is the litmus test, you know?
そうですね。ダークソウルはやっぱとかく難しいと言われるんですけども、確かに難しいゲームではあると思うんですけど、我々はちょっと信じてもらえないかもしれないんですけど、誰でも楽しめるようには作っています。つまり何らかの準備とか注意力とか慎重に進んだり注意力を働かせるとか、そういう五感をとか思考をフルに使うことで必ずそのクリアできるようには作っているつもりです。で、そういうものを使ってクリアすることで達成感が得られるものだと思っています。なのでそのバランスの取り方もなんて言うんでしょうね、ひたすらこう無駄に難しくするんじゃなくて、例えばここはちゃんと見ていれば普通に対処できるであるとか、ちゃんとレベルを上げていれば進めるとか、基本的にはその努力すれば進められるようにはしてあるつもりです。基本的にはその努力したり何らかのその五感を働かせればちゃんと進められるかどうかっていうのを念頭に置いてバランスをとっています。
So, Dark Souls obviously is known for its difficulty, but you may not believe me, but we try to make the game so that everybody can enjoy it. What this means is, as long as you can pay attention, as long as you can think full steam, as long as you pay attention to a lot of the hints, stay aware in the environments, we're hoping that there's enough in there that players will be able to realize how you can overcome and how you can conquer the difficulties and challenges that are available in the game. We want to make sure that anybody can, not just the hardcore players, but we want to make sure the balance is not just based on player skill level, but based on awareness, so that as long as you keep challenging and keep trying to think of different ways of trying to conquer the difficulties, you will be able to overcome, and you will be able to sense that sense of satisfaction when you are able to overcome the hurdles. So again, we're not trying to make a simple, difficult game, but we want to make it so that it's conquerable, and as long as people keep challenging, everybody will be able to have the sense of satisfaction from playing Dark Souls 2.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, the satisfaction because Dark Souls is always about the sense of achievement from defeating the difficulty that you guys set in the game, right? But as a director, when you're making this game and actually planning it out, I mean, how do you get the pleasure from actually, setting up these traps and these situations where it's almost, ちょっとさぞまぞです like, it's just like, you're almost like, man, these guys are gonna get it. It's gonna feel so good. How does it feel? Like, what is the thought process? And do you get enjoyment from that? It must be. It's because there's a lot of love in this game.
そうですね。これもよく誤解されるんですけど、何もそのお金を払って買って くださったそのプレイヤーをいじめるつもりは全くないですし、その苦しんでいる姿を見て嬉しいっていうことはそんなにないんですよね。どっちかっていうと頑張れって、そこを頑張れば喜びが待っているみたいな、どっちかっていうと応援するスタンスではあります。応援しつつもちょっと厳しい内容にしたりはするんですけどね、それはちょっと愛の無知的なもんだと思ってもらえればいいんじゃないかなと思います。
So again, you may not believe me, but as much as this game is difficult, I'm on a side where I'm trying to cheer on the players. I make the game difficult, but I'm always cheering people on, trying to say, keep challenging, keep challenging. When you get over it, you're gonna feel that sense of happiness. So don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be mean and bullying people. I'm always trying to cheer people on, but for that bigger sense of satisfaction, I want to make the game as challenging as possible, but overcomeable as possible. So I might seem mean, but I'm doing it for the good of the players. Hopefully people will be able to overcome and also sense the satisfaction. I'm always on the player's side.
That's actually really interesting because when you think about games and making them fun, and what you just said, it actually shows a lot of care behind it. To know that you're actually supporting us, telling us say like "gamate" and stuff like that, like now the game becomes a lot more friendlier to me personally, and I mean that's just really admirable. I think that's really cool. I'm just gonna keep it short. Like that's already a lot. Any last words for the player who's prepared to die?
そうですね、このゲームはですね、心さえ折らなければその先に必ず喜びが待っているゲームだと思いますんで、心を折らずに、最後までやっていただけると嬉しいです。
So again, this game, as long as people don't give up, as long as people continue to challenge, there is that light ahead of the hurdles. There is that sense of satisfaction, the fist-clenching happiness there. So please try not to give up. Try not let the game bully you. Get over it, challenge, and hopefully feel the best of Dark Souls 2.
Wow. So Dark Souls 2 is a metaphor for life. It's actually quite deep. And right now, no, please. Well, I'm with Tanimura-san, who's one of the directors of Dark Souls 2. Thank you so much, Tak, for doing this, for translating. And guys, we're gonna play it in March. This game is looking really, really good. We just tried out the demo, and these guys have just made it fantastic. So thank you so much for that.
You know what, guys? I was really impressed by Tanimura-san. To be honest, the fact that he said that he's rooting for the player and that he believes in us, I think that's really admirable. From a design point of view, I mean, the guy is making the most difficult game in the world, but he's like, you know what? I know you can do it. So speaking of playing and doing it, I actually got to play this game, and this is what I learned. Now, the first thing I learned is that they revamped the multiplayer, i.e. the online system. Now, you remember back in the day in Dark Souls 1, how many times were you killed by a Red Phantom with a backstab lag? I hated that because on a one-on-one thing, we could beat each other, but when it came to lag, I always fell to the ground crying. Now this isn't gonna happen, and also at the same time, it's gonna be easier to find your friends on Dark Souls 2. So that's something to look forward to for some jolly co-op. And secondly, there's gonna be persistent bonfire warping. Now in the first one, you actually had to get like pretty much halfway through the game or really far into it, and then you can warp from the bonfires. Well, they actually cut the fat from this, and now you can actually warp from any bonfire that you find right away. And in fact, I played this one part where the bonfire actually took me to a new place, so it shows a different type of warping as well. Now thirdly, the graphics, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that this is for current gen. I mean, they have a brand new engine. The particle effects look crazy. When you're hitting swords, it's like clang, 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 stuff's shooting out. The lighting is just exquisite because it really feels like survival horror, sets the mood. There's fog and smoke and mist, and also at the same time, there's just mocap for the actual actors, or at least the characters. So when you're seeing them fight, swordplay, it really is carefully captured. And speaking of characters, you actually have a bunch of brand new classes, but unlike Dark Souls 1 where you actually picked a preset class and it set your stats for life, well, kind of, this one is actually more modular. So depending on how you play, you can actually pick your classes as it goes on, and it will point you towards the direction of where your playstyle goes. So that's pretty interesting because now you have a lot more freedom to be who you want to be in this crazy Dark Souls 2 world. And lastly, probably the thing you guys are very concerned about, this game is not easy. It is really hard. That's the biggest change of it all. It is so hard. The AI has gotten crazy, smarter, there's more reactive. The fact that in Dark Souls 1 they would chase you but only to the edge of the map. Well, this one, all the enemies have different presets on how to handle your tactics. For instance, when I fought the Mirror Knight boss, well, this boss at first, I was like, you know what, I can handle him. I've played like almost 300 hours in Dark Souls, no problem. So I started learning his pattern, right? But once I started getting his pattern, knocking off his health, Then he started changing it up. He got more aggressive. He wasn't letting me rest. I couldn't drink any estrus flasks. Like every time I drank, he chased up and just went up to me and smashed me in the head. It's crazy. And the fact that he's called the Mirror Knight for a reason. He slumps down. You've probably seen this online. And he gets down like this, and then an enemy or a phantom comes out of his shield. But the thing is, in the real game, because in the demo, we actually got a computer AI character. In the real game, this phantom that comes out is going to be human controlled. So you can imagine how chaotic that's going to be. But in terms of difficulty, and let me put it this way. This is how difficult the game is. On that day of the conference, there was a competition by Namco Bandai saying whoever could beat the Mirror Knight boss, they would win this t-shirt, right? Well, the thing is, only one person won. He played 20 times. Apparently, he was super sweaty from what I've heard. So it makes sense that he got a t-shirt. But aside from that, you guys don't have to worry. This game, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, after playing it just for a little bit, I picked a dual wielding class. I didn't even mention that. There's new dual wielding as well, like true dual wielding. Well, this game is really looking to be my next game of the year. So Dark Souls 2, Namco Bandai, you guys did a great job. Tanimura-san, thank you so much.